All right, welcome again, everybody, to this week's speaker series. Part A this week. We're also going to do speaker series on Thursday. I'll let you know what that's going to be at the end of today's session. Today, we're doing a special vendor spotlight. So we have three companies here to talk with you today. So Floreo is going to be up first, and Heather Manning will be here from Floreo. And then we're going to have SimplyHome with Matt Wright and Sharon Braswell. And then finally from Voiceitt with Austin Nito. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Heather. And I can unshare my screen. Go ahead and share what you'd like, Heather.
I also have my colleague Denise Garcia here, who I think I'm going to allow to start things off, and then I'm going to do a quick demo of Floreo. So Denise, you want to take it away first?
Hi, it's very nice to meet you all. Thank you for allowing us to present to you. We are a virtual reality system. We've been around for 8 years. We are on the way of becoming a medical device. We have FDA breakthrough status, and we are hoping to be a medical device early next year. And so we have a range of uses with our device. We have a lot of interest from IDD communities, and we are in 5 states providing different varieties of Medicaid waiver services for IDD populations. So thank you so much. I'm going to hand it over to Heather.
Thanks, Denise. So we had kind of 2 ideas in mind, although you may have other ideas that we're open to talking about. One is to provide custom VR content that could be used with the participants that you're working with. And the other is to provide the equipment needed and the access to our software during the course of the grant for you to use with your participating families or for them to use at home. But I want to get to the fun stuff because we can talk about Floreo all day long, but it is much cooler to actually see it in person. So I am going to do a quick screen share and just show you a little bit about us. And hopefully you guys can see my screen here. It should say welcome Bob at the top. Bob is the name of my learner. Something that makes Floreo a little bit different from other VR experiences is we are designed to be a coached experience. So it's not a situation where someone is just wearing a VR headset. You have no idea what they're looking at. We have developed Floreo to be actively coached, and we provide access to the coach to see exactly what the learner is looking at any given time. So I'm kind of just scrolling through our lesson library here so you can get a feel for the different skills that we address as part of our offering. We have broken up our lessons into different skill categories. One of our more popular ones is the community and daily living skill category. We have several lessons that we've developed with the state of Tennessee Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, including these lessons on finding the bus. Also lessons that are designed to practice some soft skills in the workplace, time management, organization, multitasking, and also interacting with a teammate who you're working on a task together with. So we have a variety of different content. These are targeted towards older learners. We have also lessons that are targeted towards early learners as well, or early age learners as well. So I'm going to actually pop into a lesson that is designed to practice crossing the street. We have a bunch of these different lessons designed to practice the routine for crossing the street. I'm popping into the 3rd one in the series, which is a lesson that is designed to practice what to do if the cars don't stop as expected. So you are looking at the coach's view right now. So this is what the coach would be looking at any given time. I'm just moving the headset around as if I was a learner who was moving my head around during the experience. And you can see the view changes as I do that. So if my learner's not participating in the lesson in the way that I might like them to, I'll know that and I can redirect them or otherwise guide them to participate in a different way. And this type of interaction and scenario is really kind of tailored to a VR experience. Certainly you could practice crossing the street in your neighborhood or in your area with your learner. But if the cars don't stop as expected, that could have disastrous consequences here. So in a VR setting, we can practice things like this that are not necessarily easy to replicate in real life. So for this lesson, I'm just going to quickly go through it because I want to leave some time for questions. We are practicing the routine to cross the street. So first we need to double check and see if the signal is walk or don't walk. We need to double check and see if cars are coming from the left. They are. You can hear that I get a little noise when I do the right thing. And that blue banner is telling the coach what to do, so they can tell the learner what to do. So we first double check to see if the cars are coming, then we're checking to see if the signal says walk or don't walk. And to get the signal to change for our purposes, we just need to look over at this button. And you can hear that the sound has changed. We're looking at the cars still driving by. We can't do anything until that signal has changed to green. So we could ask our learner, has the signal changed yet? Now it has. But before we can actually cross the road here, we need to see if those cars have stopped, because they haven't. And if we stepped into the road right now, we would get hit. So we're going to double check here. The cars are starting to stop on the left finally. They're also stopping on the right. Before we can cross, we're going to check left one more time. And they have all officially stopped. We're double checking now that the signal has changed, and it has. And then we're going to give the learner the feeling that they're moving forward, so that they can get that actual feeling like they're crossing the street. And so if our learner completes this task, we can turn around and practice again. We can practice that same routine, and we can practice any of the other street crossing scenarios, like not following a jaywalker into the street, and also any of the other scenarios related to the street crossing that we have developed. So this is just sort of to whet your appetite, to give you some ideas about the lessons that we've developed. Certainly we can talk more about the content in our lesson library and how it might be applicable to the participants that you are working with. But I want to leave a couple minutes for questions, and also if Denise has anything that she wants to add as far as color that I didn't address in my short time here.
I would just say that, we're very excited about the opportunity of working on a grant with any of you. So if you're interested in either using the product as is, or if you're interested in talking to us about some unique needs of your community that you'd like us to develop some content around, the grant money could be used in that way as well. So we're happy and would love to chat with you afterwards. Thank you.
This is Brad with Easter Seals, Arkansas. I had a question on the coaching part. So is a coach, do they also have a VR headset on, or are they watching a TV, or how is that?
Really good question. So right now the coach's device is an iPad, so the coach can see what the learner is seeing. So the setup that the learner uses can be variable. Today I'm using a VR headset and an iPhone. The iPhone's a VR device. It goes into the headset. That's what the learner sees. We're also compatible with Meta Quest headsets. Right now, the only options that we have for the coach are an iPad, or if you have a newer Mac that has an M2 chip, you can also use Floreo as the coach on that type of device. For our subscription packages, we would provide the equipment needed, the iPad, the iPhone, the VR headset, if you wanted to go down that route with us, where we provide equipment to your participating families, or for yourself, if you actually wanted to coach your learner as the way that you're structuring this program for the grant, then we can certainly talk about making sure that you have the equipment needed as part of that.
The equipment is locked down, so it can't be used for anything else as well. And there is audio. Volume must have been down on Heather, but normally, yes, there is audio. They hear the environment around them as well.
I think Google was doing a really good job of blocking what I thought was background noise. There was street scene noise that was not probably coming through on my microphone. And to answer your question in the chat there, so we are actually working on an AI lesson where we'll have a conversation partner who will be able to, in the moment, speak directly back to the learner. We do have interactive lessons where we're talking back and forth with characters. Those characters are pre-programmed with language right now, but this AI character is something new to us. It will be out in beta in the next month or so. We're testing it internally right now. And Allison, yes, we're really excited to talk to you. I'm going to respond to your email as soon as this call is over. So the name of the company is Floreo, and yes, our website is right there in the chat as well, floreovr.com.
It looks like you have an extensive library. How do you pair that with the individual's needs. So if the provider organization decides to sign on with you, do they have access to the full library, or is it targeted towards particular member needs?
Yes, they'll have access to our full library. It's almost 200 lessons, and we're always working on building out more content. Right now in the pipeline, in addition to that AI lesson that I was just talking about, we have a lesson that I was just testing before this call on water safety, because that is, of course, a really hot topic. It is something that is very important to the population that we're working with and targeting.
After successful completion, is there a certificate, or is there anything that happens at the end of that once you've passed?
Yeah, so you saw at the end of the lesson there that the coach received a lesson results screen, and that gave the coach kind of a snapshot of how the learner did. So each of our lessons has a different objective or goal. Although some of our coaches use it alternatively, they might have a different thing that they're practicing with their learner that's not exactly how we design the lesson to be used. So based on the objective for the lesson, we do have mastery criteria. If the learner does master that, that data is provided to the coach on that lesson results screen. We also have additional data and reporting that we provide to the coach outside of the app. It's in a web-based platform called the Floreo portal. And the coaches can see the progress the learner has made over the course of several sessions, because oftentimes you may have to play a lesson repeatedly before you can have your learner master that particular lesson. So Megan, your question is how many seniors are using this type of technology? So I don't know off the top of our head. So our content is applicable for learners of all ages. We usually say that Floreo is recommended for age 5 and up. And that is mostly because of the hardware. We haven't found a lot of headsets. We haven't found any headsets that will fit smaller heads. But for our older learners, we have content that can be applicable for someone who is 99 if they need to work on the different skills that are addressed by our different Floreo lessons.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Probably time for one more question, if anybody's got one.
And if no one has questions, I would just say the sky is the limit. If you've ever wanted to create a virtual reality experience, now is the time. So if you have something in mind that's difficult for you to teach in real life sessions or in real life, think about how it could be applied in VR. Think about those dangerous situations. Think about those situations that are just hard to do in real life, like bullying. We do have some bullying lessons where you can't really role play those types of situations. So we'd love to partner with you on that, or just bring Floreo into the hands of your participants that you are working with.
Oh, one more question. I'm just curious, does your library contain any items for activities of daily living within the home? So maybe cooking related, or I don't know, bathing time, whatever it might be.
It's a good question. So right now we don't have any lessons that are actually in the home. We have one under development that's sort of getting ready to go to the doctor's office, which will be paired with going to the doctor's office. So it would be getting ready, deciding what items you might take with you before you leave, what items you don't want to take with you. You probably don't want to take a giant watermelon that's in the refrigerator as your snack. That would be hard to carry. So there are definitely things that we have that we'd like to bring to life, and our content team is deciding how they're going to roll things out. So if you do want to practice things like activities of daily living, then that would be content that would be really excited to partner with you on, especially because it is a big ask as far as what our customers are looking for too. So it would be a good fit.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Floreo. Really interesting presentation and eye-opening as to what's available out there. So appreciate your time today.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity.
Got it. So now we're going to pivot over to SimplyHome. So we have Matt Wright here, as well as Sharon Braswell, and they are going to present on SimplyHome's offerings. And Matt and Sharon, if you're keeping an eye on your clock, around 11:32. tiny thing.
All right, not too specific. So that sounds great.
Didn't
And
want to
Heather and
take
Denise,
time off of you, Matt. I have to see you on a regular basis. So.
Heather and Denise, that was awesome. So from one tech vendor to another, y'all got a really cool thing. So, well, this is a treat for us. I'm Matt Wright, Director of Sales for SimplyHome, and I get the pleasure to introduce Sharon Braswell today. So she is our rep in Arkansas. So she's boots on the ground, covers Arkansas and Missouri, and she's going to guide the presentation, and we'll sort of see where it goes from there.
Okay, great. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. As Matt said, I'm Sharon Braswell, and I am with SimplyHome. And a little bit about SimplyHome is that we've actually been in business for over 20 years. And some of y'all may have remembered that SimplyHome participated in the hometown makeover or extreme hometown makeover several years ago, and has also been here recently featured in USA Today for enabling technology. So that with that experience comes a lot of opportunity to, help other people become independent through our innovation. And everything that we do is customizable and person-centered. We are in over 1,000 locations with over 250 providers in 27 states. What that says to you is that we've been there, done that, and we would like to be able to help everybody who is either has a disability or is a geriatric patient. We take it very seriously. The Ray family started SimplyHome. They had a long-term care background and saw a need where patients and individuals actually wanted to and could be independent in their homes and live safely. This is enabling technology. What we're doing today is enabling technology. I mean, we've been doing it for years. You can use your phone, you can use your laptop. Enabling technology for all of us allows us to have independence and self-determination and a great quality of life. And that's what we're here to do at SimplyHome, is allow people to have that outcome if they so choose. This is just going to be a short video of a.
Hey, Sharon, if you want to hit present real quick, they'll be able to take a look at it.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Can you see it? I apologize.
Not yet. The button is the up pointing arrow at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well,
Google Meet is not everybody's
I know.
go-to presentation.
And Sharon, take your time finding that. And so what I want everybody to hear is that we are a custom trigger-based alert system. So inside the home, based off range of motion, if there's movement, we can make actions happen. And so we're going to try to show you a video on that here in a second. And we tie everything to the outcomes that the individual and the provider desire.
okay. I do apologize, everyone. Not a great first impression.
There we go. All good. We got it. Looks great. We got it.
Okay. Make sure it is doing the same thing that it did. If y'all could just give me just please be patient with me for just a second. For some reason, it's not allowing me to get there. So let's see. Can y'all see that now?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Got it.
You can? Sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
SimplyHome's technology empowers independence. SimplyHome technology is customizable and focuses on supporting person-centered outcomes. SimplyHome's technology empowers independence.
SimplyHome technology is customizable and focuses on supporting person-centered outcomes. At SimplyHome, our main technology solution is a sensor-based system that equips providers with tools to be available both in person and remotely. Let's explore the main sensor-based system and other standalone technology that we can offer. The Firefly. The SimplyHome base unit is referred to as the Firefly. This small, discrete device communicates with various sensors. The sensor-based system can be customizable 3 ways. The system, for example, can prompt an individual through an audible speaker announcement or text, email, or phone call that can go out directly to the self-advocate. Using a stove sensor with a speaker, we can set up a rule if the stove is on for more than 5 minutes and there's no motion detected in the kitchen, give that person a prompt, John, turn off the stove. Another example using prompts would be when someone enters the bathroom during the morning hours, maybe between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Give that person a prompt, Sally, don't forget your morning routine. Prompts allow an individual to self-direct prior to staff needing to intervene. Prompts allow for greater independence and the person to be as autonomous as possible in their home. Door and window sensors. The system can also be set up to send remote support caregiver a text, email, or phone call if assistance is needed. For example, providing overnight on-call support. The system can be set up to call staff if the door opens between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m., or if the window opens and remains open for more than 5 minutes. The sensors will let you know if something happens or doesn't happen when you would expect it to. For example, being able to text a caregiver if Sally doesn't access food by 9 a.m. With the alerts, you're able to set up a primary responder and a backup responder to ensure there's always a timely follow-up if assistance is needed. A bed sensor. It's important to note that even one sensor can be used differently based on the time of day. A young man with Down syndrome that worked with SimplyHome transitioned out of his family's home into his own apartment, and the way he uses his bed sensor varies based on the time of day. When he gets into bed at night, he gets an audible prompt, David, don't forget your CPAP machine. That same sensor works differently in the morning. If he's not out of bed when he has work, he will get a prompt, David, it's time to get out of bed. His team will also receive an alert so that they can proactively provide support. Our sensors can be used with environmental controls as well, like smart lights. Maybe an individual you support is aging in place. For example, we can pair a bed sensor with smart lights. When the individual gets out of bed, light their path to the bathroom. Once they're back in bed, turn those lights off. Light controls and other technology like a bed shaker can be used to support someone who is hard of hearing and may not be able to receive an audible prompt. SimplyHome offers fire alarm sensors, carbon monoxide sensors, and water sensors, all sensors that can lead to safety in one's home in the case of a flood, potential fall, or potential harmful event like a fire. With these sensors, your team receives notifications of these events in real time. Sensor-based technology can be paired with help buttons and a 2-way audio and video tablet so that the individual can access support 24/7. The Nucleus tablet is a complement to the SimplyHome system and is a necessary tool to provide remote support. The device allows an individual to call out and receive support. A remote caregiver can also drop in and check in on the individual. Say, for example, they receive an alert that the individual has left their stove on and left the kitchen. The device is highly customizable and a great solution to support multiple people in residential settings. You can send messages to a single device or across devices through the Nucleus tablet. You can also do daily check-ins through picture-based icons or send out reminders. Now let's look at some additional standalone technology that SimplyHome has to offer. SimplyHome can recommend a Ring doorbell, which is commonly used to address a concern about wandering or an elopement. We can pair a Ring doorbell with a door sensor and set a rule that if the door is open, alert staff the door is open, and also turn on the Ring doorbell so that you know the direction someone is going and what they're wearing at that time. We can customize other off-the-shelf technology solutions like smart locks, smart thermostats, and smart lights. We offer a medication dispenser. This device can be filled with 28 doses of medication in advance and up to 4 alarms when the person needs to be reminded to take their medication. When it's time for medication, that single dose of medication will be available, and the device itself has a red blinking light and an alarm notifying the individual it's time for medication. Similar to our sensors, if the medication is not taken from the device, a care person can be notified. Another standalone piece of technology we offer is a personal emergency response system. This is a wearable piece of technology that can notify a call center who can triage a call and determine if emergency assistance is needed or if just that person's care team needs to be notified. The virtual tour is an overview of some of the technology we can offer you. Know that there is more technology that we're available to offer. Please understand that you do not need to be a technology expert. That is our job. We know you know the individuals you serve best. So by focusing on their outcomes for independent living, we can assist you with determining the best technology solutions to meet their unique needs.
So as you can tell, there's a lot of options that SimplyHome can customize for an individual. You know, SimplyHome, and I've said it more than once today, we do come from a place of a person-centered and outcome perspective. And we take into consideration everybody, the providers, the individual, the direct support care individuals. So Matt, I'm going to kind of let you take over and talk about the enabling technology examples of it.
Sure. So Austin, I'm reading your question here, so I want to answer it well here. Any training on nucleus care to understand the user-specific voice? Do you manufacture the nucleus care device, or do you use other platforms like Alexa or Siri? Great questions. So what you will see is that we actually can partner with third-party apps like Alexa. We do partner with that, but we're trying to drive the data all through our portal so we can prove the benefit of the technology and the benefit of the outcomes. So the nucleus device is not used to understand the user's specific voice for the way we use it. It is used for HIPAA compliant two-way audio and video. Now we can customize dropping in and also what is seen on the tablet. So we do customize that for the user, but it is not set up to understand the user's specific voice. Do we manufacture it? It's actually a Samsung device that then we manipulate for protection, privacy, and also to collect appropriate data. I think this is a good moment to, you saw a lot of what we offer from products and alerts and triggers.
Mm-hmm.
We have a client portal, but really we're down to a couple minutes. I think it's appropriate. We can do a deep dive with any of you at the appropriate time. We would love that. But are there any questions you have right now?
Yeah. I will say this, if someone is like, you know, at the door and you don't want to see them, like y'all didn't send me in the very beginning of the presentation, they had that option to, you know, not let them in and not talk to them. So, you know, it does give them independence, and that's kind of a joke, but it's actually true. If they choose to talk to you, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to.
Yeah, parting words from us are this system is very customizable and unique to the people that you serve. And so we want to come alongside you with that. So we are behind the scenes trying to meet the outcomes and desires that you wish and the individual wishes. And we do that in 30 states today.
And having used your services when I was with a provider in Pennsylvania, Matt and Sharon, the customizability of your alerting is really powerful. So I know you were giving examples. If somebody's out of bed for 5 minutes, this could happen. Well, actually, if somebody's out of bed for 7 minutes, that could happen. Or if somebody's out of bed for 7 minutes plus something else happens, that could trigger an alert. So that was really, you can really tailor it. And we were able to really tailor it to what we needed for that individual, very person-centered.
Thank you.
Great. Well, absolutely appreciate your time, both of you today. Thank you for your presentation. I think you did a great job of showing all of the options and got everybody's mind thinking about how they can apply those. So we are now going to pivot over to Voiceitt, and Austin is here. And Austin, you are welcome to come on and share away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Very, very excited to be able to share what Voiceitt has done. We were in beta for over 10 years, making sure that we had a program that was accessible for all. So I'm the VP of sales over at Voiceitt, and what Voiceitt is it is a communication software that allows individuals with non-standard speech to be able to interact in one-on-one conversation, to be able to also communicate with their technology, their personal assistants. This was born out of our founders who had individuals with Parkinson's disease as well as aphasia post-stroke. So they wanted to be able to access their technology and give accessibility to their loved ones. So as we go through this, we wanted to have a product that was available for all of those individuals with non-standard speech. And this is a wide range of individuals, from those with heavy accents, speaking English, to those with aging voices, to those with speech conditions, related to or secondary to a primary diagnosis, let's say, of a neurodegenerative disorder such as ALS, Parkinson's, and then I think one of the highest populations that we serve are those with cerebral palsy and the IDD community. Voiceitt fits into this little niche between those with standard speech, utilizing Dragon, Siri, Google, and Alexa, where with standard speech, they're getting about a 10% word error rate, where it's really, you can't really see that there's any kind of errors. Those with non-standard speech within this range basically have between an 80 to 90% word error rate, where it's not understanding them at all. And so the technology and integrations that we've built into the software, including one-on-one communications, where it actually projects out a synthetic voice, allows individuals to interact in all environments. And even those that may have a high-tech augmentative alternative communication device, let's say from Tobii or on their tablet, they can use this as an adjunct. Let's say they're having more fatigue in their access and they want to just use their voice. So it gives that next opportunity. We are serving a wide range of individuals with different types of access methods. But the primary client that we're looking at is, and I say this is the basic rule, is those that are relatively understood by familiar listeners, their care team, their loved ones, their caretakers, but more specifically for those that are not well understood by unfamiliar listeners. Let's say, the shift nurses that come on, their physicians that they see, not so much on a regular basis, but this allows for better communication, and our integrations into WebEx, Zoom, as well as Microsoft Teams allows for better communication in rural healthcare through telehealth. And basically all of the closed caption at the bottom is powered by Voiceitt. Currently, this is only offered in English, but we are looking at adding secondary languages over the next year. Currently, if someone was to pay out of pocket for this, it is $49.99 a month. For insurance and reimbursement purposes, we have created pricing for 1 year accessibility and 5-year accessibility. 5 years has been the most popular, since that is the standard time period for those with any form of AAC that they want to be reimbursed on. And what we can, the reason why there's the subscription level to this is the fact we're constantly iterating on the software, updating. It comes with those updates automatically, including the addition of integrations that we've built into it. For example, we just launched our Chrome extension. So while they're on their Chrome browser, on whatever device they're using, they can actually communicate directly into there without having to flop back and forth between the software. There is one barrier to entry, is that we do require at least 200 phrases from the individual to record so that we can create a baseline voice model. These 200 phrases can range anywhere between 1 to 2 words to 4 to 6. But we do have modifications built for cognitive ability, literacy levels, as well as fatigue. So we have hands-free capabilities, and then also phrase sets that are 3rd grade reading level and below. So we can make sure that this can be tailored specifically for each user and their voice that is custom to themselves. We also have compensatory strategies built in with personal vocabulary, and really important for ADLs, add shortcuts. So with a single word like I am tired, it can say, please take me to bed and put on my BiPAP. So it can, with simple words or phrases, can get a full sentence out or program that specifically for their use. And as I mentioned before, this is an AI and machine learning program that is going to learn with them as their voice changes. So those with aging voices, as their voice gets modified over time, or those with neurodegenerative disorders, you train once and use forever, because machine learning is working in the background, constantly perfecting their voice and minimizing that word error rate. Like I mentioned before, we have different types of training phrase sets that are available for different types of users and their abilities. And, really with this software and anything, I think really that is presented during these forums is an experiential product. And, it does no good for me to talk about, since I have a standard voice here, but to actually hear it from our users and our ambassadors, how it has changed their life. We have a couple of different videos here, which I'll make sure that Paul will be able to share with everyone. So I'm going to pick out some of the, I think, really most impactful ones. But just to review, Dr. Claire Malone actually wrote her doctoral dissertation utilizing Voiceitt in the dictate mode. Father Ray actually has a more intelligible voice, but the technology such as Siri or Alexa doesn't understand him well. So he's able to still interact socially with his students, with his care team, and be able to interact with them utilizing Voiceitt as a voice translator for him. But I think one of the most impactful is Robert Zemigel, who is an architect, suffered a traumatic brain injury due to a car. So I'm gonna go ahead and show this video just so you get an understanding of someone with truly severe non-standard speech and what Voiceitt can do to help translate.
My name is Robert. I am 41 years old.
So what do you do for a living?
I am an architect.
So tell us about some challenges you had to overcome during your life.
Ten years ago, I suffered a car accident.
So you can see there that it does a very good job. He did a little bit over 200 phrases to get it to that level of word error rate, but it kept iterating with him as he kept utilizing the program. Let me get out of here and go back into another great story here is Warren, who actually utilizes Voiceitt to do his schoolwork on a daily basis. And as he's transitioned into the workforce, he is an adamant user of gaming and writes his own blogs utilizing Voiceitt. And Esri is able to interact with his smart home utilizing Alexa and the interpretation through the speak mode. What you saw with Robert was in the speak mode where it actually projected out the voice. As I mentioned earlier, we also have integrations built for those that are trying to move into the workforce or would like to utilize it in virtual conversations. So Michael's story here is very powerful as well too, regarding how it is utilized in those situations. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly just play his video. Sorry about that. I guess that goes into a commercial. Let's try this one more time. Nope. Nope, that goes. You guys can't see what I'm doing there. Let's go back here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and move on to, I'll go and we'll share that video with you. We also play what we are doing with our Chrome extension here. I believe we have 3 more minutes left, right, Paul?
Call it 5, Austin.
What?
You have 5.
5 minutes. Okay, wonderful. I will let you guys peruse through some of these videos yourselves. But as you can see, we've got a lot of opportunity here. We've had tremendous traction, within the schools and the healthcare, especially in the IDD community, and utilizing Voiceitt as just another accessible tool for increased efficiency in providing healthcare, communicating with other professionals, and we are looking for all kinds of different projects to show use cases. The nice thing about Voiceitt is that we are the only commercialized product for non-standard speech translation. There is the Voice Accessibility Project, as well as Google Relate, but they don't have any commercialized product available with support and programming, which is supported by our speech language pathologists. So I know this is a very brief overview of it, but with the amount of patients out there that can't access their technology and their day-to-day care and really make sure that they're getting the right care that they need, this is extremely impactful, and would love to work with you and your patients to make sure they have full inclusive accessibility to all technology and their voice. Thank you. Any questions?
Hey, Austin, this is Brad Hagan with Eastern Seals, Arkansas. Are users able to change the voice that comes out that's projected?
Thank you so much for asking that. Actually, as I was reading that, so Robert's voice is using the, I believe that was Greg in the operating system voice. So it's just based off of whatever's on the operating system. We don't have control over the voices yet. That's a feature request that we're going to be adding in. We're looking at acapella, as well as Speak Unique as other voice providers that have more natural voices, including for individuals that need to bank their voice, that it'll actually sound exactly like their voice. And so that will be available in 2025.
That's cool. Awesome.
There is a question in the chat from Amy. With our rural communities not having internet access, would an individual need internet after it's set up?
Because it is cloud-based, they need to have some form of access to either to internet or cellular service, because it's browser-based, which is can be a hindrance when utilizing it, where there is no cellular access or internet access. But in most cases, there is at least some form of cellular access that I've experienced, and they can put it on any phone or any device. This is really important. I got into this because my dad had ALS. So on a regular basis, we would run to the emergency room, and the last thing we would remember is his communication device. So we could throw it onto a phone, we could throw it on the doctor's phone, onto my phone, and it can work in all situations. So it's not limited to any device or type of device, because it is internet-based or cellular service-based.
Excellent. Any last thought, Austin, before wrap up?
Yeah, I'm sure each and every one of you can think of at least one individual that could utilize this today. We offer, because it is really personalized, we offer 30-day trials or longer, depending upon a case scenario. So please reach out to me, and I'd be able to help set that up for anybody you think would like to have access to this today. And we can get that set up. I'm going to put my email here in the chat for all of you as well.
Excellent. All right. Well, so thanks to all 3 companies for presenting today. I love the fact this was really sort of a sign up, first come, first serve sort of situation. And we ended up getting 3 really unique approaches to helping people who need assistance. So we've got virtual reality, we have home sensor-based systems, and we've got voice recognition systems. And I don't know, if this doesn't excite you about like what the possibilities are with the folks you're working with, I don't know what to tell you, because all of this just seems great. So thank you so much for everybody who presented. Thanks for everybody who is attentive. I will be sending out, resending the contact information for each of the companies and for the individuals who presented, just so you have that. And then real quick, coming up on Thursday for our regular speaker series, environmental controls, how to make anything smart. With Kyle Ballman from Millar Rich, and he'll be joining us for that presentation. And then the following week, we're doing medication management with our own Elena Gallagher. So those are the next 2 speaker series. So thanks everybody so much. Reach out with questions about other stuff through email. Happy to help you through the process. All right, take care, everyone.